internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right in today's video. I highly suggest every single one of you guys really lock in for this video because this is obviously 100% going to be fact-based. A $43 XRP within 2 years. Again, so conservative. Stop. When I say 2 years, what I put these timelines on, listen, the markets are going to scale significantly and we're going to see and witness something that we have never witnessed before. So that's why I always tell you guys to expect the unexpected. And in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly why USDC, RLUSD is going to force XRP to over $100, but I'm going to stick to a $43 target just to show you with smaller numbers so you could wrap your head around it. And I want you to scale it in your head once you understand the information that I provide to you. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But first, I got to bring this to your attention because I opened both of these trades live when I made my videos. We have the XRP trade up 100%. We have our Bitcoin trade up, which we opened yesterday. It hasn't even been 24 hours yet. Up 26%, up $700. And if you guys want to take advantage of the deposit bonus, a $3,000 net deposit will give you a $600 futures bonus for you to trade with. If you deposit $1,000, you get a $200 futures bonus to trade with. And right now, we are about to see a wild swing in these markets. And if you guys could catch a good entry at these levels, and when XRP goes to $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, listen, that trade, you probably never have to close for a very, very, very long time. So take advantage of the deposit bonuses. 2-bit link is in the description down below. And I'm also using Bidunex because I know how big these market moves are going to be. And I can't open 2 XRP trades on one exchange. So we have 2 trades going on right now. They're all longs, but the Bidunex trades were opened 3 weeks ago. And these are the new trades that we opened once the market had a little bit of a retracement. So take advantage of the bonus and let's get right into why. And 100%, just believe me when I say that, I'm not telling you this because you want to hear it. Remember that. I'm going to break down something that very, very few people understand right now. And I really want you to please wrap your head around this, okay? Wrap your head around this, and I want you to do whatever it takes to accumulate as much as you can. When USDC and RLUSD reach a combined market capitalization of $1.5 trillion, XRP's market cap can't just match it. It needs to double it or much more than a double. And when I say 1.5 trillion, I'll tell you why in a moment. I'm going to show you exactly how this is going to play out because this isn't a prediction based on hype or speculation. This is how liquidity mechanics and capital efficiency work in global finance. And let me start with this. Stablecoins like USDC and RLUSD are not going to be just sitting around. They're going to be used constantly for settlements, for on-chain payments, for trading across borders, for tokenized asset movement. They are value containers, okay? They're $1. They are value containers. But containers need pipelines. And in this new on-chain economy, XRP is the pipeline. You can't send trillions of dollars through these rails without something like XRP, its dynamic scalable system and its liquidity. Remember that there's hundreds of currency corridors. And when USDC and RLUSD each scale to 750 billion, and look how conservative I'm being right now. Okay, very, very conservative. And let's say their market capitalization is $750 billion each. That's over $1.5 trillion in value circulating. And that value isn't just trading back and forth inside the US or Europe, it's moving across FX pairs. Think Philippine peso to Swiss francs. Think Brazilian real to Indian rupee. Think about the US dollar to the Nigerian, what is it called, Naira. These are all where XRP plays, right? There's hundreds of exotic corridors, hundreds of FX pathways, all demanding one thing, and that is instant liquidity. But here's the kicker, okay? Stablecoins are not inherently liquid across chains or jurisdictions. That's where XRP comes in as that settlement bridge. And that is why, I'm not going to play the video again because we retired it. That's why Jeremy Allaire, the CEO of USDC, since day one, made it very clear that regardless of what they do, they still would require an infrastructure like Brad's company to scale their stablecoin. So ask yourself this. When you're moving $1.5 trillion in stablecoins, the value across borders, how much liquidity depth do you need in XRP to absorb that traffic without any slippage?
The other thing that I wanted to talk about is automated market making. As I mentioned before, the XRP ledger is the OG DEX. We had a DEX in 2012. We have cross-currency payments. We have issued assets. We built the XRP ledger. We designed it, and other people have extended it with the payments use case in mind. And that payment use case is a cross-currency payment world. It's a world where some people like dollars, some people like euros, some people like Bitcoin, some people like XRP. It's a multi-token world. It's a tokenized world where maybe other types of assets are tokenized.
If you think about the number of different currencies and how much liquidity needs to be available to make those transactions, it becomes less and less efficient.
And liquidity is sort of the secret sauce to making that work. I think personally, my earliest vision that I think has held for 10 years now was this idea of sort of public pools of liquidity. In existing payment systems, you're stuck with that payment system's liquidity. If you use Western Union, you get their cash in, you get their cash out, you get their liquidity, whether you like it or not, and you can't unbundle those things. That early vision was these pools of liquidity that everybody can contribute to and everybody can draw off that are kind of unbundled from the payment system or the asset that you're using to pay with.
Because there simply often isn't enough liquidity there. And when I say liquidity, what I mean is depth of the market. It means that if I want to now send, 100 Swiss francs, maybe I'll find 100 Swiss francs for for pounds. Maybe I'll find a counterparty. But if I want to send 100 million, I may not find a counterparty. So there isn't enough liquidity, maybe, between Swiss francs and pounds for me to send $100 million every day. But there may be more liquidity if we pool all of our liquidity into one type of currency. Once you pool all that liquidity, you can create more efficient pricing structures because you can say,
automated market makers, I think, will help improve that liquidity because they can capture a long tail of assets better than technologies like order books can.
And I mean, I can't really predict what the future will hold, but my sense is that there will be a more competitive, open, innovative approach to how we move around value. And I think that's kind of that would be really my only observation of the future going forward.
Funding, and instead you can use a digital asset to have global liquidity on demand.
Because an efficient digital asset can really solve some of the key problems in global liquidity. If with a really efficient digital asset, something like XRP, again, that's what we believe will be the most efficient, you can now reduce trillions and trillions of capital from being tied up. So you can make those transfers instantly as a bank or as a payment provider, as an enterprise, without having to have money pre-positioned all over the world.
And this is where the market cap matters, because you cannot move trillions through a token with $100 billion market cap. Remember where we talked about that? Let's say, for example, XRP's market cap is at $500 billion, and the whole stablecoin market is at 3 trillion. How are you going to move over 900 billion utilizing XRP when the market capitalization is only 500 billion? It would collapse the market. There wouldn't be enough depth in the books. It'll pretty much like bottleneck. And institutions would walk away from a system like that because it does not support them. So for XRP to provide liquidity for 1.5 trillion worth of stablecoin value, it needs massive depth, meaning a market cap north of 2.5 trillion, 3 trillion, 3.5 trillion to function without any kind of disruption. Why? Because every time value crosses borders, XRP steps in between the send and receive currencies. It buys the peso, it sells the yen, it converts to euro, it bridges stablecoins to fiat in markets that don't support them natively. And that means liquidity must exist at both ends of the corridor at scale. And that is why it is so important when they talk about freeing up the trillions that are sitting trapped in these Nostro Vostro accounts. You're freeing up that capital, trillions of capitals. Now think about it, that capital becoming liquid.
And there is a lot of money that is being put in terms of trying to solve these technical issues of interoperability. Now the second one is more complicated. It has to do with liquidity. So imagine that you have a pair of currencies for which there is not a complementary demand. You need to go and search for a third-party currency in order to make this settlement actually happen. And this really complicates things. So we need to put pieces of technology that can make more efficiency this use of liquidity so that more transactions can be settled.
Are you kidding me? Do you not see how big that is? And you're probably wondering why it's taking so long. Because this is such a monumental move and you have to get everybody on board and you have to have all these different licenses so this digital asset XRP can go into different jurisdictions in a compliant manner. You don't need just XRP once, okay? You're gonna need it inbound and you need it outbound. So if you've got $1 trillion in value in stablecoins, you need at least 2.5 trillion in settlement rails to backstop all of it without any kind of disruption. And let's not forget, this doesn't even factor in tokenized real world assets, FX swaps, debt settlements, derivatives that will also require XRP for liquidity. This isn't just about stablecoins, okay? Stablecoins are gonna have a major impact on the valuation of XRP in the short term. And many people don't even talk about that. That's how liquidity works. That's how deep capital markets work. That's how the real world settles finance at scale. So next time someone tells you XRP can't hit $10, $50, or $100, they just haven't done the math. And that's the saddest part. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But math is math, and just going based off the stablecoin valuation and how XRP supports the scalability of these stablecoins, a lot of people are going to miss out on this. And a $43 XRP, that's given a 70 billion XRP in circulation at a market capitalization of $3 trillion for XRP. Peanuts, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember, Bitcoin, this is the best part. Listen, if you can't wrap your head around this, you're a complete dumbass, okay? Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat things because I know in the near future, whoever tries to dispute the facts that we lay out on this channel, I'm going to be living rent-free in your head for the rest of your life. If you thought my information that I present to you is BS and you thought it was hopium and blah, 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 and that's why you didn't buy XRP, at the end of the day, I know who's right and I know who's going to be left being, sad and sour. Bitcoin's market capitalization is $2.1 trillion and it provides no real world utility to the financial infrastructure. So if you think XRP's market capitalization is not going to reach $2-3 trillion within the coming years, Okay, by 2030, this thing could be at 10 trillion very, very easily. Then, wow, I can't. Now I'm like, when I sit here and really think about it, like I start going crazy because I'm like, how do people not see this? Like, I've said this before in my past videos, but it's just so important to address this. Like, are people actually that dumb? Like, are people that dumb, or are we just too smart? And I'm not stroking my own ego. You guys are very smart as well that see it, that understand it. So you tell me, like, are people, do they try to like not see it? But at the end of the day, we're going to be the ones laughing. We're going to once be laughing, and just wait. And the best part is, look at USDT, right? Unregulated market, $155 billion market capitalization. An unregulated ecosystem. Let that sink in. Remember, Bitcoin, $2.1 trillion. Doesn't solve anything. You just buy it hoping someone richer than you is going to buy it and pump your bags. Bitcoin is not for retail anymore. Please understand that. And we'll be back with another video.
Well, I woke up this morning, check my bags on the chain. XRPL still humming while the FUD folks complain. Ripple fighting Goliath, yeah, the SSA's game. But Johnny D and Hogan, they're bringing the flame. So we salute to the rebels in suits, to the coders and hodlers wearing dusty old boots. Raise a toast to the ledger and the lawyers who bite, while taco stand dumps through the middle of the night. Damn, Jed, can you chill? Brad G's on the mic saying clarity now, while Shorts codes the stars with the hologram cow watch. The haters keep chirping, but the people ain't blind. This ain't some mean dream, it's the internet spine. Regulators stalling, but the clock's ticking fast. Ripple drops the case like a baseline blast. Communities united from Twitter to the street. We meme through the madness and never admit defeat. Yeah, we salute to the devs and the geeks, to the ledger that clears in seconds, not weeks. To D, to Hogan, to legal delight, and the salty old taco that just loves to spite. Hey Jed, you done yet? Or you got another dump scheduled for lunch? So here's to the warriors, the freaks, and the fans, waving salute tokens like battle flags in hand. It ain't just about coins, it's a movement, a pact. We defend what we build, and we're taking it back. Come on, salute to the ones in the fight, to the token that laughs in regulatory spite, to Schwartz, Brad, and the ones still believing, even while taco stands always leaving. One for XRP, and raise your guitar for decentralized dreams. This song's for the ledger, the truth and the proof. With a smile and a nod, we say salute.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.